Pokemon 2022 market is upon us, and in this video we'll be going through everything you need to know about Pokemon investing in this year of 2022. So let's dive into it. Hey, what's up guys, hope we're all doing great. Now in this video we're going to have a little chat about Pokemon market in 2022. Now here's the thing, it's going to change, and I've already done a video a couple of weeks back where I was like, the Pokemon market is changing, and it is, but in this video we're going to go through all the information about kind of like what's happening, what I think is going to happen moving forward, especially in this year, and is now a good time to invest and kind of like give us an idea of what's going on. So first things first, we are going to talk about the fact is that the Pokemon market, just like anything else, does get affected by what is going on outside there in the real world, as it were. And the thing is, right now, the pandemic is still upon us. Now supply and stuff like that is still better than it was about a year ago, but it's still running rampant and it is affecting just everything. Okay, and what's happened a year ago, 2020, you had the insane boom, you had the kind of the Logan Paul, you had all of the pandemic, everything like that caused prices, sealed product, cards, everything to just go absolutely crazy. And now things are going back to normal. It's taking a little bit longer, but it's getting there. And I think it will, by the end of this year, kind of go back to where it was pre all of this crazy hype. Now, the thing is a lot of people have left the hobby, as it were, but I would say these are the people where, you're not too fussed about them leaving. And this is people that are like, what people would like to call, scalpers or resellers. Unfortunately, some like online, sellers as well, independent ones that try to make quick money and stuff like that, are gone, or at least most of them are gone. Whereas now we're looking towards your local gaming stores, we're looking just your normal regular online retail, TCG player, all of these sort of things. What is it going to look like? Well, first off, we're going to talk about single cards. Now, single cards have been dropping, and modern cards especially. Now, we saw sets like Evolving Skies, and they had tons and tons of cards that were really, really expensive, and they have held their value. I think that down the line, towards the end of this, kind of like maybe Brilliant Stars onwards, towards the end of the year, we could be seeing some cards in modern sets struggle to reach the raw price of $50, let alone $100. At the moment, we've been getting, you take Fusion Strike, you had the Espeon and the Gengar and stuff, and they come out flying out the gate over $100, and then they start to trickle down, and they trickle down, and they trickle down, and then you could probably start seeing them reaching the $60 mark, or maybe even less. Well, I think down the line, less people are excited, for some of these sets. Now, I do know that a lot of people are excited for Brilliant Stars because it does look absolutely insane, but Fusion Strike really did show that the hype is going back to normal, which means that the single card prices will drop as well. And especially if that supply is there and the demand is not quite there, then they will drop. Does that mean they're not worth getting? No, absolutely not. It means that the cheaper they are, the better to pick up the single card prices, and it just means that down the line it'd be worth it a little bit more, rather than playing these really high inflated prices. That's the modern single cards. We're going to look at graded cards and PSA. Now, PSA right now, it's around 100, I think it's like $100 if you want to go and get a card graded. So it has dropped from the 200, 150, 100. I think we could see it dropping back down to a more reasonable level as the year goes on. Around that $50 mark, maybe drop down for 100 to 50. Probably around maybe the end of Q2, Q3 of this year. I think they want to try and make sure the whole backlog's gone and trying to put people off sending in cards that aren't really worth a huge amount. And then hopefully, maybe going into 2023, we could be looking at the $20, $25 mark maybe to send it to PSA. Once they get all that backlog going, the amount of people doing the hobby has kind of died down a little and settled more, and the cards aren't that huge demand. They're hiring a ton of people that can just get all this backlog done. So we could be seeing PSA dropping their prices even more. Modern graded cards are also most likely going to drop in value as well, especially the cost to get it graded is reduced. If people are paying $100 to get a card graded, then the value of that card is going to probably be inflated to try and cover the cost that they're having to pay to get it graded. It also means that if it's cheaper, more people are going to get that card graded, which means there might be more, versions and more quantity of that graded card out there in the market. So the price of it doesn't need to be inflated or anything like that. So again, we could see modern graded cards from PSA or Beckett, Ace grading, any of that kind of reduce in value as well. So it is a great time to complete your master sets. It is a great time to go and get cards graded throughout this year. Now, modern sealed products, I still believe are what I would call not purely safe, but safer investments than, let's say, some of the single cards. And the reason why is you take the worst sets that have come out throughout Pokemon's history, they always go up over time. Now, they do drop, absolutely, but they do go up over time. Now, do I think that, Battlestars, Chin and Rain, Evolving Skies, Vivid Voltage, or any of them sets won't go up in 3, 4, 5 years time? Yeah, they will. I genuinely think you're going to see them. Maybe even in 5 years, 4 or 5 years time, you could be looking at some of these sets, some of these products, booster boxes doubling in value. $200, $250. Now, 5 years is a long time. Now, I do know some people that have held onto product, or try and hold onto product, and the temptation to open it or the need to sell it is there. Life changes, things come and go and happen in our lives, which force us to, kind of sell things. We could be in circumstances where anything can happen where you're like, oh, I need to sell some of my sealed product investments. So holding on to something for 5 years and then deciding when to sell it as well is a thing all in of itself. But is it a safer investment? I really do. Now, what sealed products, are worth investing in? I mean, ETBs are very good. They don't tend to get reprinted that often. So if you can pick up maybe like one of each of the ETBs when they release them, then they are very good. And I think that booster boxes and ETBs are very, very good investments. Some of the other sealed products, probably not so much, but definitely booster boxes and ETBs. Now, I also think that booster boxes are going to go back down to their MSRP as the year goes on, rather than seeing some of these sets try and come out at, $120 or $140. I can see it dropping down over time. Now, I did say in another video that they are bringing in print to demand, which they are doing, which basically means that if somebody wants X amount of product, then they can go out there and order it and they'll print that product for them. However, waves are still staying. So, maybe the 3-wave system where, shops and things like that will get a wave, and then a second wave, and then a third wave, and then print to demand kicks in once all the waves are done if someone wishes to get more of a particular product. So that is one thing to keep in mind. Does that mean it's bad investment? Absolutely not. It just means that it can stay closer to that MSRP, so we don't have to pay silly prices for it. So yeah, so that's one thing. That's what's really good. Now, other good modern sets, Evolving Skies is incredibly good. Celebrations, even though it's cheap and unique, right now not the greatest, but it is still a very good investment because it is so unique and things like that. So you kind of want to look out. I always do videos of the top 5 investments each month, so you guys can get an idea of what to get, what to collect, what to pick up for that month. And I will be doing other things like single car prices and vintage as well down the line, so you can get an idea of what's going on in the market each and every month. Keep you guys up to date. Another thing we're going to look at is some of the vintage cards. Now, vintage graded cards are going to probably stay more stable, especially the more higher grades. So for instance, maybe like PSA 9s, PSA 10s will hold their value a little bit more because they're a lot harder to get hold of. The starting price is already very high, whereas some of the more lower grades that tend to get sold around quite a bit, their prices can fluctuate a lot more, and there's probably a lot more of abundance out there. But if you do have older cards that are graded very well, then they are very, very good, and I think they might, they should stay quite level. Might drop a little bit, but nowhere near as up and down yo-yo kind of like modern cards do anyway. Especially first edition cards as well, they are very, very stable. So first edition base, or first edition fossil, jungle, any of that sort of stuff, very, very good if you do have them. And then we also have another thing about vintage cards is basically I could probably see vintage products, so booster boxes, dropping throughout 2022 around 15 to 20%. That's my prediction. Already we've seen a drop towards the end of 2021. I will be doing a video where we're taking a closer look at what actually has been happening. But I think 15 to 20% drop throughout towards the end of 2022 on sealed vintage product is a possibility. So you want to keep an eye out for them towards the end of the year, maybe to pick up is a good one. Now, if you do have them, just hold on to them unless you really need to sell them. You know, like I say, for real life stuff. And that's it. So this is not the end of the hobby. It just means things are going back to normal, back to around that 2017, 2018 era, before the pandemic or, you know, the whole Logan Paul thing and it all blowing up. So it is a great time to invest, great time to get master sets, complete your collections, get your binders filled up, and for people to play the game as well. But not only that, for investing, it means that we can pick up cards and sealed product with decent prices. Just means we don't have to pay stupidly inflated, hyped, you know, crazy prices. It was really, really good. I'm super excited for this year. I am looking at completing 2 master sets this year of modern sets. Not too sure which ones I want to go for yet, but I will try and complete 2 master sets. And I want to increase how much sealed product I have in the Sword and Shield sets, especially the cheaper ones like Battle Stars and Chin and Rain, because they are so cheap right now and I really want to capitalize on them. And also graded cards. If PSA starts reducing their prices more, I live in the UK, so it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to send it over there, but I will send my higher, more valuable cards over there to get graded once the prices are a little bit cheaper. At the moment they're a little bit too high for me, but yeah. So that's it. That is kind of a little overview so you guys can know what's going on looking into 2022. It is going to be an exciting year for the hobby. I'm super excited. And guys, made it this far, make sure to give this video a like and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more Pokemon content. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next video.